Hello everyone, my name is Kelsounds, and this is episode 2 of this is episode 2 of Faceplant Sound Design Utilities. Today I'm going to be going over lower limit and upper limit inside of the modulator section, or the utilities inside of the modulator section. And so just to do a quick recap like I did in the previous series videos, this is episode 1. I didn't really create anything too crazy with this. It was just more to showcase what Remap was capable of. This sounds off. And so Remap allows you to be very specific with your values when you're modulating something. So in this preset, I have 3 remaps, and all of these have different values. Like this one's at 50%, this one's at 75%, this one's doing whatever it's doing, but all of these are mapped to modulate different things inside of Faceplant. And so yeah, it's just modulating different parameters at different values. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab lower limit and upper limit. I can't, to be honest, I couldn't really find the best case scenario to use these. But just to kind of showcase what you can do with these utilities, I am going to be using them with an LFO. Actually, before we do anything, I want to read the documentation for this, just so you guys can get a better idea of what these utilities are doing. Okay, so lower limit / upper limit. The lower and upper limit modules can be used to clamp the output of another modulator so that it never goes outside certain values. The white bar in the middle can be moved vertically, and the graph will illustrate how the value stays within the limits. Remember that you can modulate the limits when relevant. Okay, so lower and upper limit basically just clamp the values of your modulator. If I have LFO modulating lower limit, as you can see, it's making the triangle wave, but it's having it stop at a certain point, as you can see on this graph that it has here. And then if I take that off and modulate upper limit, it kind of does the same thing except in the opposite direction. I think for this example, I'm actually going to be using unipolar, just because I think it would make more sense with both lower limit and upper limit. And so once again, we're going to be modulating the sync just for example purposes. I couldn't really find the best case scenario to use these, but I do want to show you guys what they can do. Okay, so we have our MIDI here, and we're going to be modulating the sync. And since we're using the unipolar mode, I'm going to go ahead and set the sync in the middle here. And so what I want to do is have this LFO modulate the sync, but I want to clamp the values. So what I'm going to do first is I have this first LFO modulate lower limit. And by the way, you can also modulate this threshold here for the lower limit and upper limit. But yeah, so I'm having this first LFO modulate lower limit. And as you can see, our triangle wave is going through here. And then I want our lower limit to be modulating upper limit. And so now we have this sort of square wave graph. And of course, if I go ahead and adjust lower limit, it turns more into a triangle wave. But I want it to be more of a square wave, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And then, of course, if I bring up upper limit on the threshold here, it turns more into a triangle square wave thingamajig. But this is what we're going to be using to modulate our sync. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then now I can just go ahead and do something like this. And as you can see, it is clamping our values because of both of these utilities. So this is what our modulator used to look like, this little triangle wave, and then these are kind of just shaping the modulation more. And so I'm just gonna and of course, it sounds completely different depending on how we adjust these thresholds here on the upper and lower limit. But yeah, those are the lower limit and upper limit utilities. I know this was a bit of a quicker video. I'm going to still try and get a cool sound utilizing these utilities. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.